seatbelts, touch all your connections. Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your you get everything like you want it. Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans, make sure you get everything like you.
So that's weird. I don't know why OBS is still not working. So let me. What the heck? Okay, well. Reset it again here and try. I think I need to reset OBS is my guess here. Okay, I got it fixed here. We are getting ready to go green here tonight from Moses Lake Motorplex here for the USATrucks West Division, race number 12 of 13. We will have 2 more truck races left this season in the regular season after tonight finishes up here. Alrighty. Front row. You got Barry Earwall with pole position here tonight alongside Osceola Escobar. These are the top 2 trucks of this league so far on the West Coast. Starting up front, we'll see how well they do here tonight. Next row back, you have Matt Yard and the 81 of Daniel Voiles, followed by Borat Sagdiev and Rich Roy. Newcomer in the field here, second race back, Travis Regan alongside the 17 of Jack Davis, followed by Campbell Marsh and Walker Bacon. You got Billy Lovejoy right at the roundup of the top 10 here alongside the 26 of Donovan Heist, Paul Ladino and Nate Hobson, followed by Kyler Sestre and the 80 of Shy Turtle, Taylor Cording and Mark Walker, followed by Junior McLaughlin and Lucas Holmes, Angel Perez with Jimmy West alongside them, Luis Rodriguez and Santi Messi, Paul Tabarini and Wyatt Vega, 45 David Dixon alongside the 11 there of Matthew Hubert. Then it is Spinham Walker and Priscilla Perez, Gabe McDuffie with Jakov Rosovich, Bailey Parker and Jamie McMurphy, Davian West and Kat Durham, followed by Jonathan Sheridan and Casey Nonico, Roach with Reese Huntley, and the last 2 on the field, Jason So and the 40 of Chris Jeremio. 152 laps here today at Moses Lake Motorplex, the home of Sigma Racing, track that was built specifically for the Sigma Series in mind. Our home track, home soil. Drivers here tonight, it's not just a race win, it's an opportunity to establish yourself as one of the top contenders in the series. We opened up with the first ever race here last year, and since have come back to host a full season with all of our classes racing here at Moses Lake Motorplex. Few of our series have already run here. We had the Cup Series already. Bridge to Cup's actually going to close out their season here later on at the end of the year, and Truck's here tonight, so good start here for Barry Earwall, heading into Do It for Dale turn 3 there. And the 60 making a hard push here. Matt Yard wants to take the lead. Up the hill they go, Steel Hill, honoring Calvin Steele, a late great part of our Sigma Racing series for a long time. Still hold his team name out there in honor of Calvin. There we go. The mile count was a little off here tonight. We're going a little under 165 miles, but 152 laps around this just short of 1 mile distance short track. Should be a great race here tonight. So Barry Earwall already off to the early lead here tonight. This is race number 12 of 13 in the regular season of the USA Trucks Western Division. As it sits right now, the West Division, it's going through Osiel Escobar, your points leader, over Barry Earwall by 12 points. Borat Sagdiev 25 points back. So really you got about a 3-truck battle for the championship so far to try and take the regular season championship. After tonight, we might be able to eliminate one driver or another from contention, but at the moment, Barry Earwall trying to rack up points against Osiel Escobar, who's running in 4th. Max points, you'd be getting about 55 points. Last place, you would get about 1 point here. So you would be looking at a 54-point swing. Points are actually a lot like the Bridge to Cup series between the trucks and Bridge to Cup, so makes it a lot, simpler. Kind of follow along with the point scenario and all that stuff. And between trucks and Bridge to Cup, points format's pretty close to identical here, and that helps a lot, keeping it a little bit more streamlined and less confusing. But you also got Borat Sagdiev running right there in 2nd place, 25 points back of the points lead, Osiel Escobar. So this could very well go down to the regular season finale when we head to Las Vegas next. And actually, that will be the next race. We will close out the West Championship in back-to-back nights. So Monday night, we should have the Las Vegas next week, and then next Friday, we will see the Bristol Pocono double for the East Coast. And regular season championship would be in the books. We would figure out who the rest of the field is joining your top 20. The 10 from the East, the 10 from the West that have earned their right to fight in the Truck Chase Championship. Win and you're in, and if you don't have 10 different winners, then whoever's highest in points. We got similar situation going on in Bridge to Cup as well. So it's cool that Trucks and Bridge to Cup are going to be the 2 series remaining next year, that they've got so much in common. It'll keep fans with knowledge of points and situations like that going forward. So streamlined. That's definitely the best way to explain it. And man, it's been a fun season so far. We've made it halfway through 2026. It's crazy to think that a whole half a year is kind of blown by here, and the racing has pretty much been full steam ahead. I kind of threw that pun out there as we're looking at the Steam-sponsored number 20 truck of Barry Earwall there. But it's crazy here on the West Coast. Your top 3 drivers kind of gravitating towards the front. Goes to show you that they are really kind of 3 of the best trucks out there fight for this championship. Tail end of the field, you have Jason So running in 42nd. The 6 there of Roach just ahead. And the 58 of Davian West in 40th. Reese Huntley racing for the Swearingen team there, up to 39th. Chris Jeremio in 38th. Jonathan Sheridan in 37th. Bailey Parker and Casey Nonico with Jamie McMurphy and Jakov Rosevich. Matthew Hubert, Priscilla Perez, and Spin Walker now up to 30th here. One thing we know for sure here at Moses Lake Motorplex is that the tires, they fall off pretty rapidly here. Once you get a nice long green flag run, teams tend to play the strategy game. And you'll see alternating strategies, drivers that are trying to stretch it longer. And all in all, it gets pretty wild here at Moses Lake. Almost feels like a road course race on the short track when everyone else is pitting, getting off strategy, and then you see the speed discrepancy from the old tires on track to the new tires, and it gets pretty wild. So we are probably going to see that again here tonight. We'll take a moment to glance at the report card here tonight and see what the fuel mileage window is. 111 laps, so definitely a one-stopper for sure. 152 laps here tonight with the trucks. And the other series that have got Moses Lake on the calendar, the ARCA season coming up here in a short while. We'll try to get through the ARCA season, the rest of that championship before July, or at least before my July break, that is. So we're going to try to do double duty on getting ARCA in the books. Moses Lake Motorplex will be coming up in that stretch. And, of course, Bridge to Cup. All roads lead to Moses Lake Motorplex for the overall championship. We will also have a kind of exhibition race in Bridge to Cup, where we're actually going to invite some of the old folks that have, graduated out of Bridge to Cup. We're going to race on the moon, and 400-mile, 200-lap, kind of a fun race, and we'll get to see some new faces, maybe a lot of the newcomers that are working their way up the ladder for next year. Get a shot, get a chance to kind of fill out the cars that they'll be racing in 2027. So that endurance race, that exhibition race on Mars Super Speedway, not a points race. You will see your entire Bridge to Cup cast mixed in with some unique and new faces that have not seen in a Bridge to Cup car before. We're going to save that event for later in the year, September, late September, and we'll see who we can all get signed up to run the show. And of course, the Cup Series already ran here at Moses Lake Motorplex earlier this year. And the winner of that race was Taden Berggren, taking home the first ever points-paying Cup race here from Moses Lake Motorplex. We did have a truck race last year here at Moses Lake Motorplex. Let us pull up the stat book here, look into 2025 USATrucks West Division, and figure out who won this race last year at Moses Lake Motorplex. So June 21st, 2025, we're almost right on the dot again running this race. June, the same week, June 19th here tonight. So it's going to become a staple that we host this race every June here at Moses Lake Motorplex. Pretty awesome if you ask me. And last year the 20 truck ended up winning this race as well. At that time it was to-be champion of the 2025 season, Trevor Vaden, for Trevor Ventures. So here tonight, you got the number 20 truck leading again, same team, different driver in the 20 of Barry Earwall. So they've got the speed, they've got the notebook, they've got what it takes to figure out this tough-to-tame tri-oval track and bring home good results here at Moses Lake Motorplex. Last year we also had Chris Harvey with a second place. He has graduated up out of the trucks. Guido Piano came home in third. He is, I believe, on the East Coast now, so not in the field here tonight. But Billy Lovejoy brought it home fourth last year here at Moses Lake Motorplex, so he's got some prior experience at the home track here tonight. It's not his home track, but obviously I meant by that the Sigma home track. Kind of like our equivalent to Charlotte Motor Speedway, we've got Moses Lake Motorplex. And of course, last year it was kind of stacked with hometown heroes. We had Cup regular Tyler Shangle and the winningest driver, Cup Series Jacob Shangle, in the field. hometown, both of which were born in Moses Lake. Dalton Scott, who also called home to Moses Lake for many years, and your defending Sigma Cup champion, retired now, rode off into the sunset after winning this last championship. Al Bunch was in the field from Othello, just next door in Moses Lake, Grant County, Adams County separation there. And even Monty Shangle was in the field, who currently resides in Moses Lake. So not seeing quite the home track heroes here tonight at Moses Lake Motorplex, as they had different schedules lined out. Racing Cup last night at Gateway. Most of the Shangle clan household were all there at Gateway and could not make it back home for the truck race here tonight. Of the field we've got here, though, let's see. We got Al Bunch Incorporated with the number 8 truck there. Campbell Marsh, not from Washington State, though. Whoa, you got your Canadian here, and Shy Turtle running 80 truck there, currently running 13th on field. Right there around Angel Perez. Gabe McDuffie with the Seahawks Super Bowl champions LX scheme there here tonight at Moses Lake Motorplex. So the home football team, definitely. But so far up front, no drama here as Barry Irwall kind of driving off with it. Cat Durham with the fastest lap in the race, a 28.432. A lot of time and effort went into building this track. This was a track about 8 years truly in the making, and went dormant for quite some time. Never had the time, never had the computer power to make the building process happen. But within the last 2 years, I decided to come back to it, get back into fixing up the track that I'd once started a long time ago in 2017. And here we are today. Moses Lake Motorplex, a thing. People have checked it out. There's many downloads on StuNod. You can check it out if you haven't downloaded the track. Definitely a fun track to race at with the AI. We've got it figured out to where it's competitive, it's fast, and it's tight quarters, but at the same time unique and different from anything else you've ever turned a lap on. So MLMP, Moses Lake Motorplex, definitely a favorite in the Sigma series because it is the home track, and so much more than just a home track. It's got my my time and my effort invested into building something very unique. How wild would that be if we start building up a resume here for one team? Trevor Ventures has been the class of the show here in the trucks. Doesn't matter if they're on the East Coast or the West Coast. Their team always up front fighting for wins, stealing the glory here in the truck series, and really giving Toyota a leg up on the rest of the field. Feels like Toyota's got it figured out here because of Trevor Ventures, the winningest manufacturer here in the USA Truck Series for sure. Well, we're under caution for the first time here tonight. We're going to get restacked up and figure out what's going on here. Pace truck pulling off now to reclaim the field here. It's actually a first time I remember seeing the Pace truck here at Moses Lake Motorplex, so that's cool. And our first caution, pardon me, need to drink more water. Wow, so it looks like a bogus debris caution, which happens periodically throughout the Sigma series. Happens, oh no, we didn't. Not a bogus debris caution, a stalled truck on the race line. We've seen so many folks park it where they shouldn't be parking it. Here tonight, Casey Nonico parks it on the entry into turn 1. Parks it right there. Actually, that's classified as turn 2, basically. Track's so unique that it's kind of hard to tell where turn 1 begins and turn 2 begins, because turn 1 is actually classified as the hill turn, the steel hill turn. And so where you're going downhill, you're actually heading into turn 2, because as soon as you cross the start-finish line, you're on the way into turn 1 already. If you see right here in this perspective as we will chase. So the start-finish line right there, and then turn 1 right here. Such a gradual first turn and then the hill. Once you go downhill here, you're carrying all that momentum into turn 2. It's such a fun roller coaster track to race at here. So for some folks here tonight, obviously this being the finale for Bridge to Cup, some drivers may be trying to get some notes here in their Bridge to Cup car. Even if it's not a driver in the field, maybe some teams trying to get some notes here. Figure out what they need to bring to the Bridge to Cup championship battle at the end of the season here. We know that Campbell Marsh is in the mix for the Bridge to Cup title, so he's getting some valuable insight here tonight. Billy Lovejoy on the inside looking in for Bridge to Cup, but if he wins one of the next 2 races, he could be locked in for the championship push in Bridge to Cup. Shy Turtle's in the mix, of course, so we have our Canadian presence here with Shy Turtle also looking to maybe get some intel on this racetrack here for when Bridge to Cup comes here just a little bit later this season. Doubled up for the restart, it's going to be Junior McLaughlin and Barry Earwall resetting the field here. Barry's had the lead, but now McLaughlin leading a little bit here. They roll through the start zone, and we're back and racing. Green flag waving. 3 wide for the race lead going into turn 2. Go 7 right there at the bottom, and the 20 blocks all 3 lines of traffic. Borat had to lift there, and that's opened the door for the 65, your points leader of Osiel Escobar. The racing already super frantic here on the restart. Here goes Osiel Escobar looking to take the race lead away. 3 wide up the hill, they climb. Wow, that's some excellent racing here tonight, folks. Exciting to see 3 wide on a hill climb. It's pretty wild. Side by side still, they are 3 wide for the race lead. Osiel on the low side. In the middle there, that is the 07 of Borat Sagdiev. All 3 of those drivers sit 1, 2, 3 in the points. Oh, and also Daniel Voiles now up to 4th. He is 4th in the points. So give up your top 4 to your top 4 in points. Goes to show you that they have what it takes here to really fight for the race win tonight. 20, though, it finally falls to the wayside as 65 Osceola Escobar takes the lead away from the guy that's dominated so far from pole position. New fast lap set in the race also by Osceola Escobar as he takes the lead away. And your top 3 in points running 1, 2, 3. Top 4 in points running 1, 2, 3, 4. Now looking for second, you got Daniel Voiles on the move here. Another new lap set, fastest by Daniel Voiles there, running in 3rd. He's looking to try and reel in your top 2 here and fight for the race lead. Well, we are down to 100 laps left to go. Another fast lap set here is Donovan Heist with a 28.329. Race is tracking to be in about a 1 hour, 30-minute window. Pit stops, I think they're going to still need at least a pit stop to get to the finish here, but they did pit under green flag with that last caution, so we'll see how late they push it, but they should have to make at least one more pit stop before the race is done and over with. Billy Lovejoy has moved up into fourth here, hunting down the race leaders here. Billy Lovejoy had a fourth here last year. Moses Lake Motorplex looking to try and match that or go even 1 or 2 or 3 better. Oh, crap. Sorry, I'm munching on snacks in the meantime. Let's rewind back and see what happened there. Wow, this is a mixed bag as you have Junior McLaughlin here, suffers a mechanical failure on the racetrack, a blown engine. Well, with the blown engine, that collects the 55 who goes for a tumble. Bam. But here the problem is, caution's already out, so he starts rolling down the track right in front of your race leaders and collects the 65 of Oscar Escobar. The number 2 of Billy Lovejoy gets rammed into. 94 Pauladino, the 18, man, it is a yard sale here on the racetrack. Parts flying everywhere. Daniel Voiles looks to be the one that gets out clear and free. Got another flipper here. The 18 flips a few times, no Hobson. And the 2 with nowhere to go as the track just kind of gets tight, gets bunched up, and all over the place there on the hill. That hill is hard because when you have cars stuck there, there's really no other racing line around it. And so they just pile in like a dog pile there, and it really, really, really lays down the damage. Cat Durham trying to climb the hill with his damaged truck. It is working overtime to get up the hill, and now he's going to have to bring that truck down pit road for some service. Wow, what a weird, wild wreck there to get us up to this point here. So your new leader, Matt Yard, followed by Barry Earwall, Donovan Heist, Daniel Voiles, and David Dixon. Tyler Aspinall Racing running 3rd and 5th. Then next in line it is Borat Sagdiev, Oscar Escobar, Jack Davis, and Shy Turtle with your top 10 rounded out with Walker Bacon. Wyatt Vega, Gabe McDuffie, Travis Regan, Mark Walker, and Matthew Hubert, followed by his teammate right behind him, Spinham Walker, Taylor Cording, Jimmy West, and Paul Tabarini, and Jakov Rosovich running in 20th. Then it is Angel Perez, Santi Messi, Davian West, Chris Jeremio, Jonathan Sheridan, Paul Ladino. Roach is still out there. 27 trucks left running after the wreck has retired almost half of the field. 48 is retired here tonight of Luis Rodriguez, the 18 of Noah Hobson, the 36, and then it is the 16 truck. Man, I am not good with names here tonight. Priscilla Perez, and then the 36 of Lucas Holmes. Jump start here at the initial start. Dang it. We've had this problem a few too many times here in the Sigma Racing Series. There's really no reason or explanation for why the game does its thing. Black flags being shown to Barry Earwall and Daniel Voiles, as it should give Borat Sagdiev the race lead here. Aw, man, another wreck. This time involving the 45 of David Dixon, who gets turned here by the 20 of Mark Walker. Just a little bit overly aggressive there, taking out the 45 and bringing out the caution for the third time here tonight. Well, just past halfway, 78 laps in, 74 laps left to go. Daniel Voiles, your race leader, followed by Jack Davis and Borat Sagdiev. Up to fourth, it is Gabe McDuffie, followed by Matt Yard, Spinham Walker, Walker Bacon, Donovan Heist, Shy Turtle, and Osceola Escobar. Alrighty, we're getting back and rolling, doubled up for the restart here at lap 82. Looks like we're going to get a legal restart this time. And we're rolling here. So Daniel Voil's the race leader here. As fuel mileage should not be a concern for the rest of this evening. They've got what they've got, and they're going to try to carry it to the finish line. Alrighty, we're down to 56 laps left to go here from Moses Lake Motorplex. Your race leader, Daniel Voiles, 4th in the points. He's trying to climb up that ladder. He's missed a couple races at the start of the year, so his climb has been very, very fascinating. That he has missed some races, and yet he's in the chase on points right now. Could he potentially get a race win and guarantee himself a locked position into the USATrucks East-West chase? Behind him, you have the 60 of Matt Yard, who also joined late in the season. Grizzled veteran of Jack Davis in the number 17 truck for Moger Volkswagen. Borat Sagdiev with a top 5 run, as well as Gabe McDuffie. Then you have Shy Turtle, Wyatt Vega, points leader Osiel Escobar, and Barry Earwall trying to rebound after getting stuck back at the back on a miscalculated restart that dropped him all the way to the rear. He's already climbed back into the top 10. I was trying to keep an eye on the Coronado race. It looked like Tyler Reef had the lead, and all of a sudden he did not. So I did not see what happened exactly, but it would have been kind of cool to see a new winner. But instead it was Lane Riggs getting the job done there. It was cool to see Jimmy Johnson up front leading some laps tonight at the San Diego Coronado street circuit there. Pretty neat. And it'll be cool to see Jimmy Johnson again on the Cup race later this weekend as well. Jimmy Johnson, actually a Sigma Cup champion in his own. We had him in the series during a time where I actually put real-life racers into the Sigma racing world. And Jimmy Johnson, the 2021 Sigma Cup champion, was it 2022? Either 21 or 2022. One of those 2 years, it was Jimmy Johnson's year, driving the 42 for Chip Ganassi Racing. And kind of a unique pairing, putting him in the 42 car, where he then obviously went on to race IndyCar for Chip Ganassi Racing. And it was a shame not getting to see him win races in IndyCar. I think if he would have stuck it out or started earlier in his career, maybe he could have been in some race wins. But yeah, it sucks too that he didn't have a better run at Coronado here tonight. Had a fast truck, just could not bring it home for a good finish. Meanwhile, though, Daniel Voiles up front leading this thing, seeking to be a first-time race winner here tonight. Lap traffic he's going to have to deal with here, the 94 of Paul Ladino. It's actually kind of a unique perspective here. You can actually get like you're at the racetrack here in Sigma Cup. I almost feel like I need a tracker ball for my mouse instead of an actual mouse. That way I can move things more fluidly. You can tell that I'm moving the screen camera with a mouse. It's kind of jittery. It's kind of slow and obnoxious, but yeah, if I had a trackball like what you have on an arcade console when you're playing like Pac-Man or something, imagine how precise and how pretty this camera angle could look. This really does put into perspective just how unique Moses Lake Motorplex is. You can see the dynamic drop in the hillside here as they come roaring down into turn 2. Imagine the sheer adrenaline of being at this racetrack, getting to watch all of that right from your seat here. Imagine getting right up close and personal, right near the wall, seeing these cars flying around, the trucks flying around at top speed through this winding turn. Always fun to experiment here in Sigma Racing. Of course, tonight here at the Moses Lake Motorplex. Zoom in almost to the point where you see the bugs on the windshield. Hopefully I didn't just give anyone a traumatic seizure for the jitteriness of that camera angle. But it was pretty cool, pretty neat to do something different here. It would be kind of cool to do a perspective league where you're sitting like in the seats of one of the racetracks, doing a spectator version of the race and getting that sheer. Actually, that would be really cool if you could somehow hook it up to like a sim goggle, like a VR headset, so that whenever you move your helmet around, you're actually looking around the racetrack. That would be pretty neat, like an augmented reality 3D VR deal, NR2003 style. In all honesty, I mean, we're doing the whole spectator side of things anyways. It would be cool just to have like a VR NASCAR sim server, you know, series that you can just watch the races through a VR headset. Of course, that would be kind of niche and hard to get a following, since not very many people have signed up for the whole VR side of things yet. But I could definitely see the appeal. Well, with 38 laps left to go, Daniel Voiles leads this thing. He could start closing that gap in the points battle as he sits 4th in the points. With him sitting 4th in the points, though, he's going to have to hope for a little bit of struggles from the other contenders in the championship battle here. He is 72 points back of Osceola Escobar. He's going to have to beat him here tonight by about 25 points to even put himself in the conversation for staying in the mix for the regular season championship. But with Osceola Escobar running in 5th at the moment, it's going to be tough for him to make up those kind of points. So Osceola is probably going to eliminate Daniel Voiles from regular season championship contention. But with a win, no matter what, Daniel Voiles will be locked into the chase. So regular season championship is just some more bonus points to help seed these drivers going into the W West-East chase in about a month's time. Yeah, and yet with no more pit stops necessary, this is kind of the push to the finish line now. Daniel Voiles holding this lead over the 60 of Matt Yard in second place there. Third place, a little bit further back, you have Jack Davis, followed by Barry Earwall and Osceola Escobar. The Canadian comrades of Borat Sagdiev and Shy Turtle running 6th and 7th, and relative newcomer Wyatt Vega running in 8th, followed by Spinham Walker and Gabe McDuffie with the top 10 push here tonight. Just in case we need it, we will activate green-white checkers here with 24 laps left to go. 60 of Matt Yard looks to be trying to close the gap here on Daniel Voiles just a little bit. It's a pair of Fords leading the way. So 2 Fords closing it out strong here tonight. Well, 18 laps remain. Lap traffic just a little bit of a factor here towards the end tonight. But Daniel Voiles picking them up and putting them down. This 81 truck never been to victory lane before. Daniel Voiles very fresh in Sigma Racing scene. Him and a couple others in the field here tonight making early careers out of it. And Daniel Voiles already putting on a good showing here at the home track for Sigma Racing, Moses Lake Motorplex. The rest of the truck campaign for the regular season looks a little bit something like this. After tonight, there is 3 truck races left in the regular season. So one more race on the West Coast here with Las Vegas, followed by 2 more on the East Coast with Bristol and Pocono. Then we get into what is known as the W West-East Chase, and it'll involve a 10 race championship chase with 20 trucks, and we'll fill out the other 20 entries by drivers needing more seat time, looking to try and extend their season, just get 10 races in the books before 2027. So that exclusive roster is yet to be figured out. But so far, these drivers racing to fill up the 20 drivers that will be eligible for the title. So only 20 of your 42 drivers will be eligible to tackle a championship out of the situation. But we'll open up the West-East Chase at Ricky Raceway. Then it is Charlotte the next week after that. Calder Park in Australia, a night road course. Very unique, very interesting, very different. Trucks will take to the Calder Park race course. Then it'll be Darlington. Zandvoort of Formula One fame. Talladega night. Then we're going to go to Britain, and we're going to race at Rockingham, the UK version. It is not like the real American version. It's its own unique circle track in Britain, Rockingham, UK. Then it'll be Germany with Euro Speedway Lausitz. Twin Ring Motegi in Japan. Sadly, they destroyed the track earlier this year. Such a shame. So heartbreaking to know that another oval track, even an oval track the likes of Japan, and they demolished it. So then it'll be Indianapolis to round out the USATrucks Championship for the first time ever at Indy. So that'll be interesting to see where all roads lead to Indianapolis to crown a champion. Of course, Bridge to Cup has 2 more races left in its regular season. We're going to go to Las Vegas and Pocono next. 2 races in the month of June here, and we'll figure out who is in the championship fight for the full Cinda Cup chase for Bridge to Cup. Then it's going to be interesting when we go to Meridian, one of the shortest tracks that these Bridge to Cup stars race at. A much smaller, more quaint field, but it'll include all 12 of your chase drivers fighting for as many points as they can get in race number 1 of the championship full Cinda Cup chase. Then it'll be Talladega, Charlotte, Michigan, and then a road course mixed in there. We're going to go to Toronto with the Canadian race. Moses Lake Motorplex, Bridge to Cup will come here to crown the champion at the home course for Sigma Racing Discourse. But tonight, we will crown a race winner here with the USATrucks West Division, as this gets us 2/4 of the way through the Moses Lake Motorplex schedule of racing this year. Cup Series, we got to watch Taden Bergeron take home the win here with a lot of strategy that got him to the front, got him to victory lane here. But for Daniel Voiles, it's kind of been a little bit of a similar subject here today. May not have had the fastest truck, but strategy definitely worked him wonders here tonight. 8 laps remaining. Simply just needs to bring it home and hope for no more late race cautions here at the Motorplex. And hopefully for Voiles, he is not the reason that a caution is caused here in the closing laps, as he is dealing with lap traffic, working his way through them here. Kind of an interesting approach here, not having to deal with many green flag pit stops, so this is really just a mad dash to the finish here tonight. Daniel Voiles doing an expert job here, bringing it as well as he can home from the front of the field. Really only had the one big one on the hill section of the racetrack. It's a tough place to have a wreck happen because of the uphill climb. Trucks get trapped and the track gets clogged up, and then all of a sudden you have half the field wiped out in one wreck because of the way this course is laid out. So it was just a tough break for all of those involved. Out of the race, it looks like the 6-speed disqualified, but getting back, it looks like the 12, the 91, the 4, the 22, the 31, and the 08, the 2, the 77, the 88, the 55, and the 24, all out of the race. Looks like Billy Lovejoy was able to continue on. Oh no, actually he was not able to continue on. He come home with a 38th finish on the evening, so part of that big wreck. And he was up there in the top 5. He was trying to climb up the points and get a better result here tonight, and that just did not unfold for him at all. Well, just a couple laps left around the race course here tonight. Daniel Voiles leads here at lap 150. Alrighty, seeing the white flag waving in air, this will be the last lap around Moses Lake Motorplex here tonight. Daniel Voiles has the lead. All he's got to do is bring it home now. 81 seeking race win number 1 of his career. It's been a slow but steady progress, getting into a position to fight for the wins, and man, he's taken to it like a storm, and he's up front fighting each and every week right now. Well, finally he's going to seal the deal and secure race win number 1 of his career here tonight with the Sigma USATrucks West Division from Moses Lake Motorplex. Even though that truck unsponsored, it's going to get a sponsor eventually. It needs a sponsor. After a win here tonight, there will be people lining up to get that truck sponsored and looking cleaner, prettier, and more vibrant. So that here is a new winner in the truck series. Congratulations to Daniel Voiles for getting the job done here tonight. Well, shoot, I think what we'll go ahead and do, I'm going to go ahead and start up the final race of the West, the Las Vegas race here tonight, so that we can actually get things scored up and finalized for the W Chase here coming up in a while. So Hold tight. We'll get it set up. We're going to just host it on this stream here. I'll try to just kind of hover. I won't be at the computer all the way through the broadcast, but we need to get ahead before we get behind again. So, and Vegas should be a quicker race here by all means. So we'll do the doubleheader here tonight. Get the truck championship in the books. We're gonna do the Gamblers Luck 193 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, USATrucks West regular season championship finale. Now we won't know who the champion is until points are scored, obviously, but I'm getting it in the books and finalized so that we can actually start moving on to the next chapter of the series. Alrighty, folks, so no joke, we are going to go rolling into the regular season finale here for the trucks. This will get me a lot more caught up so I can step away from my streaming duties in the coming weeks here.
Touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything.
So, pole position, and this could still go to one of two drivers here. We know this because of the way Moses Lake Motorplex ended. But another pole position belonging to the number 20 here, Barry Yearwall, followed by your points leader, Osceola Escobar, alongside of him. Then it is Noah Hobson and David Dixon, followed by Daniel Voiles, the race winner from Moses Lake Motorplex, alongside Billy Lovejoy. Then it is Matt Yard and Gabe McDuffie, followed by Rich Roy and Donovan Heist, Jack Davis and Borat Sagdiev, Taylor Cording and Campbell Marsh, Matthew Huber and the 77 of Junior McLaughlin, Paul Tabarini and Kyler Sestre, Paul Ladino and Walker Bacon, Kat Durham and Casey Nonico with Priscilla Perez and Jamie McMurphy mid-pack here, Luis Rodriguez and Reese Huntley, Lucas Holmes and Santi Messi, Jimmy West and Shy Turtle, Bailey Parker and Spin'em Walker, what a rhyme, Travis Regan and Mark Walker, Jack Avrasovich with Angel Perez alongside, Chris Jeremio and Jason So, Roach and Wyatt Vega with Jonathan Sheridan and Davian West rounding out the field here. 129 laps the distance at Vegas. This race should go by in the blink of an eye. So, regular season championship points will be scored up later here tonight. And it could be one of two drivers there on the front row. It could either be Barry Yearwall or Osceola Escobar.
Dad, you got your radio on over there?
Yeah, 10-4. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
And if you got me?
Oh, yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Let's do 50, yep.
righty, we are off and rolling. Barry Urwall with a good jump on the 65 of Osceola Escobar. First lap in the books, Barry Urwall, your race leader. Up to second, Noah Hobson gets by the 65 of Osceola Escobar. Oh, look at that. 81 is running into your points leader. Daniel Voiles putting up a fight. Gets right there into the left rear quarter panel of Osceola Escobar, fighting for position here. Watch this move. 3 wide, bump and run. Daniel Voiles on the attack here. Your points leader defends though and maintains the position, but Daniel Voiles has come to play here tonight in Las Vegas. Fast lap just now set by Osceola Escobar up to second in the field here, running down your race leader, the 20 of Barry Urwall. And let's go ahead and take a gander at the pit crew notes here tonight and see what the fuel window is. 66 laps, so easily a one-stop, possibly two-stopper for those that are getting creative here tonight. But they could make it with just one stop right at the barren edge if they stretch it as far as they could. So it's probably a two-stopper for sure. We're probably going to see some cautions. We'll see some stoppages here, and things will get definitely get much tighter through the night. My checkers added on in case we need it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all with the sounds of the racetrack, sounds of the music in the background, and I'll come check back in periodically. So thanks again for tuning in, folks. And yeah, we got a double header here, getting some more racing in the books so that we can get done with the season quicker. Okay, by now everyone knows who won the race. Dairy Queen Gate happened. It's a thing. And I guess you had a small window where you could watch the race happening in the background here, so it wasn't completely botched. But definitely when I left for Dairy Queen, I was like, oh, I'm going to pick a truck that I don't think is going to wreck out. And the one I did just so happen to pick was the points leader, who did get wrecked out. So there you have it. I low-key jinxed myself into that mistake. So the first caution was right here. Lap 63. And your leader pitted. That was 65 of Osceola Escobar making his pit stop. So I should save the recording real quick. At 1 hour and 30 minutes, sometimes it goes too far and it cuts out parts of the race in the background. So we're going to save the replay real quick. 13 of 13 regular season is in the books. 13 of 13 regular season in the books. But here is caution number 1 on the evening here. Ooh, and it's a couple trucks involved in a melee on pit road entry here. Three wide ahead of them, goes really bad really quickly as everyone's trying to chop down, go to pit road. And that is caution number 1. Well, due in part to this, traps quite a few big names down a lap. And your second caution obviously comes at the demise of the points leader, Osceola Escobar here. Just a few laps later after the restart. He's trapped all the way back here. So this right here is lap 72. You got Rosevich. Oh, and they're wrecking ahead. Ooh, Shy Turtle gets the worst of that there. So from 18th for Shy Turtle, there's going to be contact 3 wide there. Perez and the 45. Oofty. So David Dixon there in the 45. Definitely some carnage here tonight. 80 goes for a spin and clobbered by your points leader, Osceola Escobar. That is caution number 2. So we get back under caution again here. And as they are pacing under caution, Rich Roy would become your race leader here, followed by Noah Hobson, Gabe McDuffie, Taylor Cording, Borat Sagdiev. And another good lengthy run here under green up until a late race caution much later down the road here. We did have green-white checkers enabled in case they would have factored in, but they did not here tonight. We made it to the white flag and therefore collected the checkers. Oh, the 2 ran into the back of the 65 under. Okay, that's why the truck looked kind of wrinkled to begin with, because before the wreck happened, definitely had some damage on the 65 prior. So yeah, we had Gabe McDuffie up leading here during this last. And this would have been, you guys had the camera rolling on the 65 the whole time, so I simply missed this. But runs into the back, or gets run into here. It's got the damage already, so yeah, we had a situation where the 65 has gotten some damage before he wrecked out. Ooh, yeah, getting a little bit rough and rowdy there, and then ultimately loses it here. So Gabe McDuffie manages to lead a good stint, but the next caution came right here, right at about lap 116. And we knew that the 81 was up there in the top, I want to say about top 15, top 20. So getting involved in the wreck here. Yeah, this turns into a pile up at the start-finish line, basically. Yeah, sorry folks. So I guess all I have to do is step away from the computer. Oh, hard secondary hit. Wow. Shy Turtle involved in yet another massive wreck here tonight. Just not the night for Shy Turtle by any means. As the 80 after the wreck keeps wrecking. Oh, yeah, that right there was a nasty hit. And then more trucks just with nowhere to go come piling in there on the 80 of Shy Turtle. And that was definitely the death blow there for Voil's truck as well. The two of them hard hit. So then we get down to about a 10 lap shootout at the end of the night here. Gabe McDuffie, 8 laps left to go, shootout to the finish. The 07 of Gabe, or rather the 07 of Borat Sagdiev on the high side of the 03 of Gabe McDuffie on the inside for the last restart of the night. 07 closes the door on Gabe McDuffie, and then you got barrier wall on the high side looking for second. Here they come around the track, lap 123 of 129. I take it with high compliments that y'all said this was still better than Fox's coverage. Obviously, the cameraman fell asleep at the wheel, had to go to the Dairy Queen drive-thru, and came back and the whole place was on fire. So, but we had as much of the footage as we could get you replayed back here. The big wrecks were the big moment. Could kind of follow along with the ticker above to see where everyone was running throughout the ordeal here. But regular season in the bag now. We can look and see. I think Barry Earwall may be your regular season champion. After a tough break from Osceola Escobar, it was really coming down to about a 10-lap or 10-point difference between Barry and Osceola. So we will have a points tally here within the next day or so. and we'll have confirmation on who your West Division champion actually is. Before we pull out of the stream, though, we're going to keep the camera rolling here to see just how close the battle was at the front of the field. Barry obviously wanting to fight for a race win, and you know, Borat Sagdiev already with a couple wins this season, trying to add on to that. Gabe McDuffie had that last caution not come out. He could have probably walked away with the win here tonight, but tough breaks come in strange, you know, strange factors, and for the 03, definitely a late race caution was not what he wanted to see. But now, as it is down to just 3 laps left to go in this late race replay of the last laps of tonight's chaos. Man, and look at that. The 20 of Barry was putting on a clinic to try and get back around the 07. He kept fighting on the high side and keeping the lead. This is the track that has the closest finish in Sigma history, where we have had a photo finish here before. And they almost put on another one of those here tonight, as it looks like it's going to come down right to the wire for Barry Urwald trying to fight against Borat Sagdiev. Sets the truck up for just the right approach. Doesn't quite get the job done, as now he's fallen into the grasp of the 03 of Gabe McDuffie there. One more late race push here. We'll see how close it actually was. The rest of the field kind of in running order. You got Paul Tabarini up to 4th. You also have Noah Hobson and Kat Durham 5th and 6th. And so white flag waving right here at the line. Gabe starting to reel him back in, looking to try and take 2nd away. That puts the 20 of Barry Urwald to the high side, and maybe a little bit of momentum to carry down the backstretch here. But alas, nothing else going. And at the end there, Kat Durham picks up a spot, getting into the 5th position maybe. Barry didn't have anything for Borat at the end there. And Noah Hobson actually holds on for 5th. Kat Durham, Taylor Cording, Kyler Sestre, Lucas Holmes, and Mark Walker, top 10. Followed by Angel Perez, who was involved in that earlier caution. Rich Roy, who had been up front leading for a little bit. Jack Davis, Paul Ladino, Matt Yard, Donovan Heist, Luis Rodriguez, Casey Nonico, David Dixon, Priscilla Perez, Jamie McMurphy, Matthew Hubert, Junior McLaughlin, Campbell Marsh, and Reese Huntley. A few other trucks still running at the end of the field here. 31 trucks left running. But Borat Sagdiev gets the win and gets himself some very valuable points in the chase for USATrucks division. Well, thanks again, folks, for your support. I am sorry that it did the way it did there. We had unexpected craziness there between the drive-through and picking the wrong driver to keep the camera rolling on. So
Did you have any ignition problems?
but this gets us that much closer to getting the truck season all squared away, so that we can start focusing on the chase, focusing on the playoffs, and everything else that comes our way. So thanks again, everyone, and hopefully enjoy the broadcast. We'll be back and rolling next week, full speed ahead, try to get ahead of the curve, like I'm saying. So have a great weekend, stay safe out there, and until next time, this is Jakester signing out.